Welcome back to In Their Boots. Now joining us live via webcam is James Sheeler, the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of Final Salute, A Story of Unfinished Lives. This is a book about families receiving the news of their lost loved ones from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the Marine officer who's in charge of informing them of their loss. James Sheeler, thanks for being a part of the show today. Welcome to In Their Boots.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
Yeah, we wouldn't miss it. Now, in Taryn's story, we got to see her in the depth of her sorrow. Can you talk about, from your experiences, how the stories you saw unfold and the reactions you saw unfold, how they resonate?
There's so many different ways. I think the key part of the resonating is that all these notifications are different, and in some ways they're the same. But the thing is that being around the families afterwards, and listening to Taryn's story as well, you realize that the people behind these names and these numbers and the memories as well. We really can't forget them, and the ways that Taryn's remembering are so perfect, and that people shouldn't be that uncomfortable around these families. They should really embrace them as a nation. It's something that we really do need to feel. And that was what I learned writing this book and going through this whole journey, was that, we are so distant. It's so easy to become distant and turn away from these families. And what they want is to be embraced.
Yeah. On the other side of that coin, Jim, a big part of your book is observing the Marines who have to deliver this news. Can you talk about their reactions as they perform this task time and time again?
Sure. It's different for every Marine as well, I think, and every service member, every casualty assistance officer that has to do this duty. And I think that the casualty assistance officer that we followed for the longest, Major, now Lieutenant Colonel Steve Beck, he had a great philosophy of, you just treat this family as if they were your own. And I think if, as a nation, we did that, then I think that the families would hug us back and understand better. There were so many of the Marines that I talked to who said that they would have done anything if they didn't have to do this duty. They would rather be in Iraq. But there were also Marines I talked to who said, every single Marine should have to do this, should have to carry this casket and feel the weight. That's the only way that you can actually understand it. And it means so much more when you actually do go to Iraq and you and there is a casualty. You understand everything that's going to happen afterwards, and the honor that will need to follow and will never end, really.
Yeah. Can you talk about, for those who haven't read your book and maybe are interested in looking into it, what is the overall message of the book, and what do you think people will take away from it?
Well, I hope they do take away the sense of getting that emotional tie to the war, because it is so easy to just flip the channel. But when you feel like you know somebody, it's much more difficult. And I think that, it's not that difficult to go to a national cemetery if you see that a funeral's coming. Take your kid out of school and go take them to the funeral. They're going to learn more there than they would in the entire week of school. It's something of trying to get the nation together behind these families and to keep them together, to keep us all together.
Well, thank you for being here on the show today, Mr. Sheeler, and for the book you wrote, Pulling Back the Veil on such a little-known world. I think you did an incredible job.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody else in the book and on the show even more.
Well, thank you. If you're looking for more conversation that Mr. Sheeler and I had here today, check out on our website the extended version. And while you're there, you can check out an interview with Lieutenant Colonel Steve Beck that I was privileged enough to do. It'll be there as well. And if you check out the Solutions tab, you can find a link to Remembering the Brave, an organization that Steve Beck put in place in reaction to the things he experienced during his duty. Now we're going to share with you a clip from next week, a preview of Chapter 2, We Regret to Inform You. Here it is.
My mom was on the couch and my brother, and he was on the other couch. I said, "What's up, guys? What's going on?" And immediately my mom said, "Nicole, it could be nothing. He could be okay, but the Army's here."
I haven't even been able to cry. Instead, I had like blackouts where I would just stare off in the distance for like 5-10 minutes at a time.
The fact that this world can revolve without David blows my mind.
If you think the things we covered here today on the show are important and you want to stay up to date with what's up and coming, sign up for the updates on our website. By doing so, we can send you weekly bulletins alerting you to the content up and coming on In Their Boots. Check out the Solutions tab on our page as well. You'll find endless resources and links to organizations that are in place. And put these to use in your life or out in your community. I want to thank you for being a part of the show today and encourage you to come back next week for another live episode of In Their Boots. Take care.